Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Candle Close News. Sending you all much love and high vibrations out to wherever you are in this matrix and galaxy. Certainly hope that you're all doing well today. Want to go ahead and jump straight into the markets and look at Bitcoin on the weekly time frame and talk about some things that we've spoken about lately. We've talking about how lately our price action is continuing to close on the weekly time frame. Candle closes below this 200 simple moving average and this 223 exponential moving average. First time in history that we've closed multiple weekly candles below these levels, and it would be extremely good if the bulls can just regain these levels, either one of these exponential and simple moving averages. One thing I've added to these charts is a trend line where we first saw rejection and then support, and ultimately right now support being held again. I brought this trend line up to be fresh and on our minds because we know that we're closing weekly candles above this right now. So there's some short-term upside bounce ideas possibly playing out in the cards. We can see that there's a potential bullish divergence playing out in the MACD on the weekly time frame. So a potential bounce when we start to see this indicator flip bullish on the weekly time frame. So if we slide back down to some lower time frames and look at Bitcoin on the 2-hour time frame, I've called this breakout. Nobody wanted to pay attention to it and take advantage of it. But it's okay. It's nice to see some green on the board for the Bitcoin bulls. So we saw this energy come in last night over the 4th of July while everybody was watching the fireworks show. They could have been leveraging and potentially gaining money by trading these markets. Paying attention to some levels and key indicators that we've shared with you all here and taught you all here for quite some time. So not financial advice, but while everybody else was distracted by the fireworks, we were paying attention to the moves that we prepared our pioneers for ahead of time in advance. So it's very humbling. We're breaking back up and above 20,000 right now, retesting that $20,700 range. So very important that we pay attention to this. So holding support right near now above that $20,000 psychological range. And we know the stock market has been on a 3-day hiatus and vacation, and this energy just so happened to come in last night and this morning as we know the stock market reopened today. So none of this is surprising when we pay attention to the real institutional leverage that moves this market, not the retail mom and pop unsophisticated Las Vegas overdosed on cocaine traders that we see constantly selling off in these markets over the weekend on Saturdays and Sundays. And we teach you about this here and some other very important things. So we don't want to see a breakdown of this $20,000 psychological range, because then we're going to be looking to retest range lows right here at this 18,100. So very important that we just pay attention to this and continue to keep these charts on our trading view or whatever trading channel you use, etc. Just keep them in mind and pay attention to them moving forward. We've talked about a lot of these ranges. This 1993 range was a range that we had to break back above. 1993 was a range I picked in particular because we saw some multiple supports being held around this range until we finally fell below it. But this 1993 range is important because 1993 was a 7-year sabbatical and release year, a Shemitah year in the Jewish Hebrew culture. So something, if you're unfamiliar with, do your due diligence there. But I'm bringing all this up because your life and everything that you want to achieve is determined by the barriers that you choose to accept. The obstacles that you put in place in front of you are the only obstacles that you have to hurdle. So if you stop putting obstacles in front of you, you can have a clear path to freedom, freeing your dome. Not just mentally, but physically, emotionally, spiritually, and financially as well. And that's what we're teaching our pioneers here. So you want to learn how to trade this market so you can work less and live more, okay? Just start charting, group or no group, joining the Pioneer Academy, buying the exit strategy or not. It doesn't matter. Follow the work we're doing here, okay? Once you start drawing a map and start charting, the market gets so much easier to trade. Over time, you will change your life and reality forever. This has changed my life forever. Generational wealth forever. My kids' kids won't work. You've got to want this. You've got to start doing the work, okay? So start paying attention to the stock market and the dollar and the other indicators like the Bitcoin dominance and the fear and greed index, just multiple things that we've talked about for several months here on the Daily Candle Close News. So just stay calm, keep cool, and just stay relaxed. We got you. We're going to guide you through. So one thing we know recently is the dollar has just continued to ramp and roar to the upside, breaking past the 0.5 fib of our previous fib pool that we talked about. This 4.236 is just an overheated level, and this thing just keeps ramping up to the upside. We know we had this cup and handle formation that we're seeing play out, but bullish. These are typically, a cup and handle is typically a bullish pattern that we tend to see break to the downside. But this year, during the 7-year sabbatical and Shemitah cycle, we've already told you that we expected this dollar to ramp up towards this 1618 of our previous fib pool if we were to go from high to low right here, going all the way back into May. So very important. We know the dollar is just going to continue to rip and roar to the upside, probably to around this 4.236, possibly up here all the way as high as 119, 118, 117. So very important to see this just rip and roar again. We're getting right here to the 1618, possibly going to see it kind of retest these lower levels, this 105. We could see it come back down, hold that as support before ripping up to the upside. We don't want to see this if we're holding cryptocurrencies though, I know, but we've got to talk about it as a potential indicator. But we've been in this rising channel for quite some time for if I can find it. But anyway, we'll just use that. But we've kind of been in this parallel channel for quite some time. I don't really like that. Sorry, you guys. I didn't mean to make this mistake. But we'll just do it with trend lines. We've kind of been in this parallel channel right here, this rising wedge, whatever you want to call it. And we just see it ping-ponging all the way up. So we know the Fed is trying to strengthen the dollar this year, and it's working. So we've got to pay attention. A raising dollar is not good for cryptocurrency. So we want to see this pull back, and when we see this pull back is when we tend to see cryptocurrency move to the upside. So we'll continue to see what the US dollar does moving forward. But it's something I just wanted to continue to bring up. But let's zoom back out and look at Bitcoin on this weekly time frame again, and just continue to just look at the history of Bitcoin. Because when I was first learning cryptocurrency and learning how to trade and learning the craft and skill that we're building here, I was learning Wyckoff accumulation. And that's something so important that I think so many people overlook. Not only to educate myself, but to develop my own investment thesis is what I was doing. I was paying attention to the OG players in the game who back in the day were designing portfolios when social media wasn't around, okay? When drama and the theatrics wasn't in these markets, okay? And we know the markets are emotional right now, and now that we're here, we need to make sure we're building a craft and a skill. And here we're a very sophisticated group of people who are highly aware of the truth around this market and the things that this market actually reacts around. You know, the exoteric signs around astrology, numerology, gematria, pi, the golden ratio of pi, ancient prehistoric teachings from an ancient prehistoric world, etc. So we're here to gain emotional stability and financial security in the long term. And that is a sign to help any and everyone out there that is unfamiliar with what's going on in the markets. You can gravitate towards the Daily Candle Close News, where this community and these videos and the work we're doing here can guide you to being who you truly have always been meant to be, your better self. Okay, financially secure and safe, because financial freedom is a lie. See, we want to be able to say in the next parabolic euphoric run to the upside, just like right here, that we were taking advantage of this, or taking advantage of this in C19 in that time period, so that we can say we were de-risking and selling during these time periods. Not selling everything, but selling a portion of our bags and getting our initial profits back. That's what a lot of people can't say. Okay? So what potentially makes markets get out of whack is our emotions, and just following somebody else's opinion instead of developing and learn how this market actually operates, learning technical analysis and viewing the charts, very basic things, so that we can have an upper hand and answer our own questions while the average person is waiting around to be told something. So the people here that are helping each other, thank you, because we have our own truth that we guide each other by. And it's not to get them to believe our truth, but to just unlock them and their journey to finding their truth. Because it actually allows you to be a lot more of an adult and savvy when it comes to making decisions and moving into a secure mindset. So hopefully you've seen that I've designed my work towards around the mindset being the most important asset. We know that people shouldn't be trading their energy and time for nonsense like Johnny and Amber, Will and Smith, or investing in these markets with money that they can't afford to lose. So just sending you all much love and high vibrations. If you've out there and you've just given up on crypto recently and you've decided it's just not for you, well, get back to learning and understanding the basics, and get back into understanding how to view things outside the box and not following what the masses do. Every day is a day to educate ourselves, and that's how I've treated my life in these markets since I've opened my third eye and started seeing the world differently. Okay, yeah, I've been judged and laughed at, mocked and humiliated, whatever, but taking it day by day, I've really been able to master my craft and become my better self, my higher self. And I use my work here on the Daily Candle Close News as a tool to help you. See, a tool can either be used to build a house or destroy a house. And I have a total purpose in why I do the things that I do on the world stage. It's to help others. A game changer for others is what I hope my work is. You know, I hope people that realize that I'm here for you. If you got questions, ask. If you want to say what you mean, say it. Just don't say it mean. But take time to build a craft 10, 20, 30 minutes out of a day, and then go back to your family. Go back to bettering yourself, okay? Don't get lost in these charts and lost in the nonsense that we see on Twitter or YouTube, etc. Pay attention to what we're teaching you here so you can take something out of these charts and take something out of these videos so that you can gain and earn something in the long term. You're not just stuck here looking at the price going up and down and getting emotional, or watching the news and getting in fear and nonsense because of what they're pushing out there. Alright, so learn from someone else's mistakes and someone else's executions, like me here on the Daily Candle Close News, and then go out and find your truth with what you view here. So I'm teaching you how to properly do the craft that I'm teaching. This isn't my truth that you need to take as your truth. I want you to come out and do this work even better. Go from the student to becoming the teacher one day. That's always what allowed me to hopefully be able to continue the work that I do here, is knowing that I'm going to someday have a world full of students that are on a high vibration and consciousness that is out there really changing the world. So I hope that this solidifies the work that we're doing here, and it's been helpful lately. But when we just continue to stay calm and keep an eye on the things that we've talked about, then we just need to continue to look at the prices and pay attention to the moves that could be playing out. We want to continue to hold support above this 1993 so we can reach back up again against the top side of our trading range that we've spoken about on a couple different charts as well. This was one of them where we talked about our liquidity zone that we had fell back into, but now we're pumping back up towards this $22,030 range, the 223 skull and bones. But ultimately, this first range that we talked about was holding support back here at around this 1993 so we can get back up here in the middle of this trading range where we're finally back at now. So 4th of July, bringing in this energy in the market is so important because yesterday was 7-4. So we'll end this video off with today is 7-5, and we know cryptocurrency gives us that 7-5, and we see all this energy coming around Bitcoin because yesterday was Independence Day, the 7th month, 4th day, and we know energy gives us that 74, and we're starting to see this energy come into the markets right here around Independence Day, the 7th month, 4th day. When we look at this and break it down towards the end of Rosh Hashanah and the end of the Jewish Hebrew New Year, the Shemitah, we know that 83 is the 23rd prime number, and today is 2 months and 3 weeks away from the end of the Shemitah. So very important. Today's a highly important day, tying us into the next day tomorrow, the 7th month, 6th day, the 187th day of the year. In some of my work recently, I've shared with you how important this number is. This 115 tying us into Lucifer, this 76 tying us into Skull and Bones, the brotherhood of death. And we know that this time period tomorrow, this 187th day of the year, that's the penal code for murder. So let's pay attention to any scripted reality events that might happen on the world stage tomorrow. This 19 ties us back into C19, and this 55 ties us back into God and Satan. So very important that we pay attention to this day tomorrow moving forward. What could we see cryptocurrency do? This is a lot of exo and esoteric things around negativity and destruction and dark side, whatever. But could we see cryptocurrency pull back again? Who knows? But when we look at this and we go to the daily time frame and we look at yesterday, we saw that Bitcoin moved up 4.77%. Well, what do you know? Bitcoin's creator is Satoshi Nakamoto, and he's 47 years old right now. Yesterday was 7.4. That is the mirror of 4.7% that we moved up yesterday. Become a glitch and divergent in the matrix and deprogram your reality right in front of your eyes. So take care and God bless, and pay attention to the work we're doing here. Let's see if we can hold this as support and continue to close up towards this range right here at around $21,000. Take care and God bless, Pioneer. Sending you all much love and high vibrations.